Smell of oil as the cars went past the start-finish line, and they believe it's Casey Kane who has slowed up a bit. Remember, he's head-to-head against Bobby Labonte this week in our DirecTV competition.
And just remember, our pit reporters in the pre-race talked about it.
Different ignition system and stuff just to make sure. How's your oil temperature and your oil pressure and all?
All of the Ford teams running that new Ford FR9 engine here this weekend.
And one of the things that they've been concerned about durability-wise was the valve train.
Jeff Burton just led that lap. That is his first today, or his second lap today. And he was pushed by Robbie Gordon, who celebrates a milestone, his 350th Cup start. Driver number 7, Robbie Gordon from Orange, California. 20 laps complete. This is when we expect the competition caution, and here it is. So the teams will get ready to come pit side to check tire wear, add Sunoco race gas, and make adjustments. 20 laps complete. Welcome back. Most everyone has pitted. Dick Berggren.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. took just 2 tires. Mike, a nice pit stop by the crew. Earnhardt concerned about his brakes. Steve.
4 tires for Brian Vickers in the 83, Dick. He says the car is good, but the racing is crazy. Matt?
And the 2 of Kurt Busch, just 2 right side tires. Needed a little bit of a wedge adjustment. Wanted to try to get the back of the car a little more in the racetrack to help with the bump drafting.
And I think that's pretty much what we expected. Most of these guys just going with 2 right side tires.
Earnhardt concerned about his brakes. Used a lot of brake here, dragging it, trying to keep in line behind the guy in front of him.
Put up on Casey Kane. 10 drivers chose not to pit. Robbie Gordon is still our leader. Mark Martin, Travis Kvapil, Greg Biffle, Max Pappas, and others. Under the caution, Robbie Gordon led 10 cars around and did not pit. Gordon got the 5 points for leading a lap. That's all important in the car owner points to determine the qualifying exemption for next week. All those cars have now pitted, and Kurt Busch leads his teammates Sam Hornish, Joey Logano, and Elliott Sadler down to the green flag.
Of those cars right there, the first car in line to take 4 tires would have been Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car. Everyone else in front of him, 2 right sides only.
I would have taken 4 right there, just like Chad did, because now it sets me up to take 2 later if I want to.
Especially if we go through a full green flag run.
And we very well could. Of course, we very well could not, too.
Here comes Logano back hunting the lead, and all through practice Friday it seemed Dale Earnhardt Jr. was locked onto Logano's bumper as if they were teammates. I guess for the moment they are.
I think Jr. looked at Logano and said, you know, he's got quick hands. I think I'll hang with him. He moves around pretty good.
Kurt Busch will not give up the lead. Now it's Busch and Logano coming back to the stripe. A couple of cars reporting problems over that first 20-lap run. First to Dick Berggren.
Casey Kane was one of those, Mike. The engine sounded sorrow as he came by here. The crew worked on the engine. They found a bad spark plug, closed the hood, and sent him back out. He should be okay. Steve.
Dick, Matt Kenseth spent some extra time on pit road. The team said he had a problem with a vent tube. Now, before the caution, Matt Kenseth, we've talked about how important spotters are. His spotter is Mike Kalanoff. They're having a little bit of a problem getting their timing down. Let's listen.
Don't get offended and don't raise your voice at me. You just need to take a deep breath and pay a little more attention here. You're really late on your calls. You called me 2 wide, now it's 3 wide. You called me 3 wide, now it's clear. The guy was to my right front fender before he told me he was outside. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to get regrouped here. I got to know what's going on in traffic a lot more than I am here. Copy that. It's just a tough angle there coming off before, but we're good. Just really need you to be in the seat here with me, buddy. I just need your help today, so do the best you can. 210, Todd.
Well, they are 4 wide right now coming out of turn 2. This is really tight.
And you depend on your spotter. I mean, more than anywhere we go, he's got to be in the car with you. He's got to be your eyes all around.
Larry, I know Mike Kalanoff spotted for your son Brandon the other day.
I tell you what, Mike is the best in the business, and you heard him tell Matt, which I agree, when they're coming at him off of turn 4 like they are right there, this is what the spotter's seeing. This is the view, and it's hard to tell when that car's maybe got his fender, your quarter panel, or vice versa.
And Larry, you're right. He's the best in the business, and he and his driver are struggling a little bit.
Brian Vickers leads this lap with an assist from another Toyota. That driven by Kyle Busch. Denny Hamlin third, Dale Jr. fourth. And And Jimmy Johnson 5th. They are your Toyota top performers of the race right now, with Logano in 8th, 27 laps in.
And the frustrating thing about racing here is you see Vickers down there on the bottom. They get that big lead, and all of a sudden you watch, they'll get shuffled back into the pack with this group on the outside.
Here comes Johnson with Kurt Busch. Looks at the back bumper of Kyle Busch, looks further inside, thinks a little better of it, sweeps up high in that trioval.
But I'm going to tell you the two cars we better watch. Those two cars on that outside. Denny Hamlin in the 11, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. They hooked up rear bumper to front bumper.
Boy, the closing rate is so fast on these cars when they're catching a car in front of them. Somebody's going to run over somebody before it gets over with here.
Now Busch to the blue deuce in the middle. Let's see if he can make any forward progress. He's going to try to catch up to his younger brother Kyle, who is pushing Brian Vickers. You're riding with Kurt Busch. He's going to have company to his left. There's Jimmy Johnson.
I'm going to tell you what, we talked about Toyotas. There's a Toyota to the outside of Kurt Busch in his 2 car right now. It's Michael Waltrip in that 55 car, the gold and blue car there. Felt like he would run good here today. Nobody loves Daytona and Talladega probably better than Michael Waltrip.
He has an incredible feel for the restrictor plate racing. I think he went to school. He drove for Dale Earnhardt. I think he really went to the Earnhardt School of drafting. And man, does he know how to do it.
Started dead last, 43rd position. Of course, the field being set by points because of qualifying being washed out yesterday.
We said it in pre-race. Anybody can lead here. Elliott Sadler came from 27th to 5th in one lap and led the next one.
You know what he told me? He said, you know what? You can wreck anywhere here, and anybody can wreck here. So I might as well get to the front and take my chances. And that's a pretty familiar sight right there, pushing the Waltrip pushing an Earnhardt. We saw that way back early 2000s.
Yeah, instead of 88 and 55, just think of the 8 and the 15 when those two drivers were teammates at DEI. They may not lead this lap, though. Here comes Hamlin on the bottom, Junior on the top. Whoa, too close to call.
I think the fans pretty much told you who led that lap. It was that 88 car, just ever so, how about 7 1/1000ths of a second he led that lap by.
Remember what I said in the pre-race, little practice. How long did it take me to get to that line and beat that other guy?
Hamlin moves up to the outside.
They're gone.
He's got help from Sam Hornish, but let's see if Junior and Michael can get away for a bit.
Now, Michael ran the Daytona 500, came here to race. Don't know what his plans are beyond this race.
No, I don't think he does either. But when you talk about pouring the coal to it, that's what Michael's doing right now.
That old size 14's mashing that gas right
and
now.
And he wants to lead a lap.
At the top of the screen, Johnson and Logano have fallen all the way back to 23rd and 24th. That's just how quickly that draft can move you forward or move you back.
That's what I was saying about getting frustrated. You got a good car, you get out there, you think, oh, I got these guys. Wrong.
Look at the bottom, A.J. Allmendinger.
Here
the
they
Dinger
come.
in the 43. He's got Kyle Busch, and they do the two-car tango to the front.
I'm going to tell you what, that's the same car he had in the Daytona 500, and it was just as fast there in February. He drove from the back of the field and took the lead without the help of a lot of other cars.
This is like yo-yo racing. Now, I didn't say there were a bunch of yo-yos. I just said it's like yo-yo racing. Up and down, up and down.
32 laps complete this time by. And still 30-plus cars in that long, winding lead pack, led by two-time Daytona 500 winner Michael Waltrip over Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Denny Hamlin.
That glare coming out of Michael's car, the 55, that's in teeth showing.
That's that ivory.
How about Paul Menard in that bright green car running fourth on the outside, and what a great season he's had. The last couple of races weren't too kind to him, but Menard got off to a great start in a breakout season, and he's been up near the front these whole 32 laps.
Finished second here a couple of years ago. He knows how to restrictor plate race. Another one of those guys you just don't expect to be that good on a restrictor plate track, but he is.
But just look at the 5th car in line on the high side, the 9 Budweiser car, Casey Kane, on pit road with the hood up with a bad spark plug. Here he is battling in the top 5.
On the bottom, A.J. Allmendinger, the road race veteran, could not wrest the lead from Michael Waltrip. Didn't have quite enough of a push from Kyle Busch that time.
Maybe he has 9 cylinders.
Maybe they stuck another one in there.
33 of 188 laps complete in the Aaron's 499 at Talladega.